Hello and welcome to Game Overview. Today we're going to be looking at one of the NES's all-time classics, Ice Climber. This was one of the original launch titles for the NES and it definitely shows. Simple graphics and simple gameplay, you and a friend can scale 32 different mountains, each with increasing difficulty. For some reason probably explained in the manual, a condor has stolen your vegetables and it's up to the ice climbers to get them back. Along the way you'll deal with tiny yetis, polar bears, birds, and falling icicles. In the Japanese version they were seals, but I guess seal clubbing wasn't going to sit too well with Western audiences, so they went ahead and switched it up. One of the things I always found strange about this game is that when you reach the point where you can collect veggies and grab onto the condor, the game treats this point as a bonus stage. I always thought it was the main objective. What's awesome about Ice Climber is that at the time, co-op 2-player games were hard to come by. Most games would offer 2-player modes where you alternate with a friend, but with Ice Climber you could play at the same time. What isn't awesome are the controls, which have aged terribly. If you got a friend to play with you, good luck getting to the top of the mountain. To make these sometimes tricky jumps, you gotta aim to kinda clip through the ground sometimes. Other times you'll jump and swear you would have landed only to find yourself falling to your death. The controls is the most common complaint I hear about Ice Climber, but it's one that you can get used to the more you play. I've been playing this game since the early 2000s and it's never been a deal breaker. Even after all these years, I can still manage to scale many of the mountains and not feel like my deaths were cheap. Ice Climber is fun in spurts, but it's definitely not one of the NES's greatest hits. It's a classic, sure, but with simple graphics, simple music, and wonky, outdated controls, I wouldn't call this a must-play. And would you believe Nintendo once sold this as a $20 standalone title for the Game Boy Advance? Oof, that is too steep a price to pay. It's crazy to think that you can play this game on the Nintendo Switch by getting a yearly subscription to the Nintendo Online service for the same $20, along with a handful of other classic Nintendo games that are great, even to this day. If you're in the mood for some classic Nintendo, Ice Climber is definitely worth checking out. I'm Boyle for Heroes of Fandom, until next time.